I watch a new film every other day, and today I watched the movie Bedazzled that is streaming on Showmax. Why did I watch this film? So this film came out December 28th last year, and it was on my list, but I was like, I will get to it in time. But then after I went to Everything Is New Again, the movie streaming in cinemas, and you guys know that I loved that film. Since then, I've been chasing it's like I've been chasing the high. Like I really enjoyed that film, and so I remember this film, and I was like, Vine Olugu is also in this film. It's also kind of like romantic or has romantic elements, and I said, let me check this film out. Will it give me that same thing that I wanted? And having watched the film now, it's a beautiful film. Now, the thing is that Everything Is New Again, of course, is a cinema film. So it's bigger level, bigger budget, bigger locations, all of that. This is a more contained film. This film is on African Magic, streaming on Showmax. And it's smaller scale, so like fewer locations, smaller cast, like so it's smaller in that level, but in the small that they had, they really put their money, they put their effort, they put their time in the right place, and that place is storytelling. This is a film that has a story to tell, and I enjoyed that story. So don't come in for something splashy or big in terms of scale, but if you're coming for like a quiet, nice film with a strong story at the center, it's something that I would say you should check out. What is the film about? I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I would say, you know, when they say person don't charm person, they don't use juju on this person as per like, you better say the way that person like this other person, they don't jam him, they don't jazz him. That kind of level of to be charmed by somebody like that, to be bewitched by somebody like that, to be bedazzled by somebody like that. Is it jazz? Is it juju? Or could it actually be that there's a science to this thing? Could it actually be that if you play your cards right, if you do this and then do that and then do that, maybe you can bedazzle somebody? It's about love, romantic love, but it's also about friendship and bedazzlement. And see, I don't want to say anything. I don't even want to give you spoilers by mistake. I enjoyed this film, as you can tell. The only thing that I would say about it is that the sound at times gets us to they do up and they do down. But the good news is that Showmax has subtitles available. So I watch it with Showmax subtitles. And so that wasn't it didn't affect me too much. And it's not like it's all the time. It's just in some bits that the sound may not be. And yeah, but it was good. Also, before I start talking about spoilers, Vine Olugu, he did well in this. He also looks good. And I tell you that Nollywood is about to ring this boy because they really put him to work. They say, wait till they wear shirts for. Open that shirt! Open that shirt! They're about to really use Vine Olugu in this Nollywood. Well, I don't talk with any spoilers. So if you've watched this film, I ready to come and talk about it with spoilers. Then spoilers ahead. Let us go. All right, now that we're in the spoiler section, everybody in this did well. Like again, it was a nice, quiet film, but it was nice. But let's talk about the spoilers. The first place that I was like, with this Koye person was when Kurama asked him that, like, oh, why didn't you tell me you had a girlfriend? And he was like, why was I supposed to? And she was like, forget that question. Forget that question. That can never be me. That can never be me because why you not tell me say you get a girlfriend? We are grown folk. You know when somebody likes you. And so I think it's your responsibility at that point to now maybe hint it in one way, like, oh, by the way, my girlfriend, or something like. So you have hidden it when you know that this girl clearly likes you. I was like, this girl you get as you did. Another thing about this film is the person that you like, do they like you back? Because look at Kuruma that is dying for Koye. Ishon is dying for Kuruma. Like the queen is dying for Koye. Like it's just this life, man. The person you like, do they like you back? Also, Kuruma be so serious. The fact that she even kept on playing golf with him after she found out that he had a girlfriend, I was like, Madam, you Steph now, wow. And now, speaking of the girlfriend, one thing that I really, really love that this film touches on, it's looking past human beings as labels. Because you can see that when Kuruma first is introduced to Queen, all she's just seeing is Koye's girlfriend. She's not really seeing the human being behind that title. And this film now goes on to show that if you just talk to the person, like you talk to Queen, not Koye's girlfriend, you might see that that Queen might actually be a person that you like. And that's one thing that I really like that this film touches on is that when we meet people, you encounter people, go beyond, oh, this one is this person's ex, or this person's girlfriend, or this person's, look beyond titles and look for the human being and talk to that person. That person could actually be a very cool person if you just got to know them behind all they are in your mind, which is just Koye's girlfriend that I need to get rid of. Another thing that I like that this movie touched on was regret. Kuruma talks about not changing her name back to Kuruma until her mother passed. And then she also encourages Queen to go for her sister's wedding. And, just don't take the people that you love for granted. I also like that that was touched on in this film. It's a beautiful message and it's something that is so timely and so true. Speaking of Queen too, like Queen are amiable, but sometimes those type of amiable people, it's good to have them in your corner because they get answers. They get you where you need to be. Because see, as her and the Sean had talking everything lead to the exploration to be explored, and that is how we started getting answers and started getting Kuruma to where she needs to be. Be looking at a Sean. Go, you know, the person to the look at that one. I beg, na waste of time. Look over here. So sometimes those amiable, those talking. Sometimes they can actually get things done. Speaking of a Sean, though, like I was like that. They are thing. I was like, first of all, you can't force somebody into an attraction with you, especially a physical attraction. It's so hard to grow physical attraction where there is not. And when he just kept on like, also one thing I didn't like about this film, like or one side of it that I didn't like one part was I didn't feel like the way that they got that scene with Kuruma and Sean when they start kissing, I don't feel like that was earned because prior to that moment, you really still seeing that Kuruma seems like this boy is giving her the ick. Like she really feels like he's giving her the ick. Like, and the next thing, suddenly out of nowhere, she's like, okay, there just has to be some rules. And next thing they're making out, like, I felt like that switch wasn't very organic or natural in my mind. I feel like that could have been better done. I also want to say that I really liked the animation. I liked the way that they incorporated the animation into this. It just gave it something more, like something fresh. You know, like, again, this film was not big by scale, but they really put their resources well because I like that that introduction of the animation to lead into the third act conflict was good. Like it was the nice, refreshing way of doing it. Like she's not actively sabotaging or trying to like get Queen out of the way physically, but to like animate that, it kind of like implies it without. I liked it. It was something nice. It was something fresh that tied into the plot, her job, but it was just nice and different. Like I really liked the use of animation in this. I really, really did. Also, when they get into the steps of bedazzling, I thought, oh, that is very interesting. That like thinking of bedazzling as like a science. That like, can you actually crack the code? And when I read it, when I wrote it down, because I wrote it down, it's step one, bonding. Step two, establish mutual interest. Step three, flattery. Step four, escalate with nicknames. And then step five, manipulate, soften, bedazzle. Now, if you take out the manipulation and all the manipulative parts, the other parts actually, if person play them on you, you could probably fall. I mean, if I go fall because yeah, like it's just treat somebody like a gem and they will probably like you. They will probably be bewitched by you. And is there a science to it? Perhaps. I just like that this film kind of like said, let's think about that, like bedazzling, bewitching somebody. Can we put it into steps? Is there a step by step process? It's a very interesting thought process. And I like that. I really, really enjoy that. Also, the Jaya that Koyi is now going to marry, to have seen all these things, that this is what your future husband is doing, are you still going to go ahead and marry him? Madam, now you. At the end of the day, this is one of those films that, they lost the guy, but they found each other, and somehow that was everything. That was even more than the guy. I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I really, really did. I felt like with the resources that they had, they put together something just nice and good and story rich. And for that, I give you all your tens. Wonderful film to everybody that was a part of making this wonderful job. Wonderful job, wonderful job, wonderful job. If you've watched Bedazzled on Showmax, I'm very, very curious to know your thoughts. So please let me know in the comment section. Also, if you've watched this whole video and you have no idea who I am, my name is VDK. I'm the curator of the VDK Film Club, where every day we watch something new and we discuss it. Welcome, come and join us. We are watching fun stuff like what we watched today. All right, until the next film that I watch and the next video that I make, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.